Okay, so we have some information or some new information from Judas. Now, if you don't know what Judas is, it is basically a game by Ken Levine. And if you don't know who Ken Levine is, he is basically the person who made the BioShock games. Namely, I want to say the first three, or I think he made BioShock 1 and then he made BioShock Infinite. I'm not sure if he made BioShock 2. I think he did, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. But I know he's famous for obviously the first BioShock, BioShock Infinite, and now he has gone on to make Judas, which is not connected to BioShock. It's its own thing, but obviously it has elements of BioShock and just in the way it looks and the feel of it and the combats and everything. And so basically, I've been anticipating this game. I've been super interested in this game and just the story, the gameplay, and the overall experience that this game is seemingly trying to make. And so I think it was yesterday, or there was a PlayStation blog that was released yesterday, and it entails it's like a game dev log, or it's like a developer. It's basically a dev log, and it basically goes over the concept for the game, or the idea of the game. And that idea that they talk about in this PlayStation blog is basically the involvement of these three big characters. They call them the big three, and these big three characters are basically supposed to represent basically the choices that you make with these three characters inform how these characters react to you in the game. It informs how it just informs the experience that you have in this game. Now, I did hear that this game is going to have in terms of choices, it's going to have a lot of choices. It's going to be every one's game is going to be different depending on who you choose to interact with, who you choose to not interact with, and stuff like that. And so just the idea of that has got me super interested. And I wanted to read a little bit about the PlayStation blog and just give my thoughts and opinions on it. And yeah, man, so let's get straight into it. Okay, so talking about a little bit of the PlayStation blog itself, it reads, feature update Villainy. We've just finished a major milestone, Villainy. Villainy is a central feature of Judas. When you play BioShock or BioShock Infinite, the villain is always going to be the villain. Fontaine, Comstock, they're always going to be the bad guys. In Judas, your actions will attract members of the big three to you as friends, but ignore one of them enough and they become the villain. From there, they will get access to a new suit of powers to subvert your actions and goals. The clips below demonstrate just a little bit of the feature, and obviously they have, provided, little small clips of the characters, showing them sabotaging you, throughout the game and stuff like that. And so that stuff is interesting as well. A focus on character. One of my personal favorites of all time is Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor because of their emergent gameplay made possible by their Nemesis system. The system allows you to develop small relationships with multiple orcs. However, their goals were a little different than ours because there are so many different orcs and they don't have time to develop them into characters. In Judas, we're going to get to know these characters intimately. We want losing one of them to feel like losing a friend. We want to play with that dynamic. We want that choice to be super hard. The big three are all going to be competing for your favor and attention. They can bribe you, save you in battle, talk crap about the other characters, and share with you their darkest secrets. But eventually, you've got to decide who you trust and who you don't. In BioShock Infinite, there was a lot of energy invested in developing your relationship with Elizabeth. By the end of the game, you knew everything about her abilities, her hopes, and dreams. But the truth is, she knew almost nothing about you, the gamer playing Booker. In Judas, the big three observe you as you play, and they have feelings not only about how you approach combat, hacking, and crafting, but most importantly, your interactions with the other two characters. And so reading all of this and just like taking this in, I'm definitely interested to see how like vast this is, because, you know, when you have an idea like this, when you have the idea of having these characters, you know, interacting with these characters, and, you know, depending on who you interacting with, like how the story will change and how things will be different, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting just to see like how involved that concept is and how vast it's going to be in terms of like, you know, the ending of the game. Like, you know, let's say you focus on one key character of the game, like how vastly different will the ending be for me, you know, and depending on who I choose, you know, rather than someone else who plays the game, you know, and picks another character and interacts with another character, and how different will their ending be depending on my ending and stuff like that. And those are the things I think about as well. And, you know, they talk about obviously the Nemesis system in this, you know, blog, and obviously the Nemesis system, obviously, you know, you have orcs who, you know, you fight, and you fight orcs in that game. On obviously, you know, throughout the game, you know, there are certain orcs that you fight and might beat that like come back, and they, you know, they know you, you know, some of your, you know, techniques and what you do in battle, and so they adapt to that, you know, throughout the game and stuff like that. And so reading that as well as, you know, got me excited to see like how they, you know, because they talked about, you know, some of the characters will try to bribe you, they would, you know, save you in battle, and just talk crap to, you know, about the other characters as well, to try to get you to invest in their, you know, relationship and stuff like that. And so, yeah, man, talking about that and hearing all that has definitely got me excited and interested in, you know, especially the story of this game, and especially how interconnected it's all going to be, and just the choices you make and everything. And so the other two things that they shared in this PlayStation blog was, one, they shared a small little, I don't want to say concept art, but they showed like kind of like a poster for the game, and it shows all like the characters and like just like everything. And so I thought that was pretty cool as well, a little like poster that you can look at. And also they did talk a little bit about the release date of this game. Now they didn't obviously give a release date in the PlayStation blog, but they did kind of talk about like how, like, you know, they don't want to freaking release this game and just like, you know, or set a release date for this game and have it, you know, it be delayed and stuff like that, because, you know, especially nowadays with a lot of these games, you'll have a game and it'll have like a release date. For, you know, example, GTA 6 didn't have a release date in 2025 necessarily, but obviously that game got delayed, or people thought that game was going to get released in 2025, and obviously that it got delayed to next year. And so I can understand them not wanting to set a final release date until like they are 100% sure that it's going to come out on that day. And so I can see them not wanting to share a release date right now, at least until, like, you know, they're actually 100% sure that, you know, it's going to come out. So, you know, I don't think this game is going to come out this year. And so that leads me to believe that this game will probably come out next year, I am assuming. I don't know how far they are in development for this game, so I feel like that's still up in the air as well. I know Ken Levine, you know, he likes to take his time with games like this. He doesn't want to like rush the development cycle of games like this. And so, like, I can see this game coming out next year, or maybe it doesn't even come out next year. Maybe it comes out freaking in 2027. I don't know. I don't freaking know. But if this game does come out this year, or if it comes out next year, it'll be interesting, because I've kind of thought about this. GTA 5 obviously came out in 2013. I'm 100% sure about this. I could be wrong, but BioShock Infinite came out the same year as GTA 5. And so it would be funny if this game comes out next year. It is a Ken Levine BioShock type game. If this game comes out next year, it'll be also coming out the same year that GTA 6 comes out. And so I don't know, I just found that to be like a funny little coincidence if that does happen. And so yeah, man, I'm definitely excited for this game, and hopefully it's good. And so yeah, man, that's all I wanted to really talk about in this video. In the comments section below, what are your thoughts and opinions on this whole blog, this whole developer insight thing that they have for this game? Are you excited for Judas, or are you not? Leave all your thoughts and comments, in the comments section below. And yeah, man, that's gonna be it for this video. And so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. So yeah, bye.